Hello, hello, hello. Hello, everybody. And look who's back. Enzo. Woohoo.
Hello.
He's not allowed to be busy. Oh, dear. Hi, Jose. Hi, Cheryl. Dee. Hello, hello, hello. Yeah, so there you go. And look at Cheryl. Wow. Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you for being a support. But actually, I got a heart attack the other day. Things are getting very expensive, as everybody would know, fuel and all sorts. Although our fuel is even more expensive than you guys over in America. I'll tell you why in a minute, Enzo. But yeah, things were getting tight, and I thank the few members I have because my ground news and my StreamYard, and what was the other thing that came through? Oh, the Grok Premium. I've got Grok Premium. But there was a few things, and then my Ancestry.com, all of a sudden they all come through together, and I nearly had a heart attack because I totally forgot that I'd signed up for the membership or that it was due. So thank you to the members, because that's what it supports. It supports these things that I need to research certain stuff. So thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. So there we go. Yes, Enzo's back, and Enzo can tell you all where he's been. He can give his excuses now.
Oh, wow. Last weekend, I was with the rest of the Caney gang there. We all went and saw the final. I almost said missing. It's not missing. It's Haunted Objects podcast, where those folks, if you're familiar with them, they had their last live show last weekend in Oklahoma. So drove not quite 2 hours to go down and watch their show live and chat with them and all that. So it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I saw the link that you put up. It looked pretty good. It looked like it was fun. Yes, I've suffered through without you, Enzo. But everybody was
sorry.
Hey, everyone was last week.
I couldn't show up because of work.
That's all good. we had a good time. Jose wasn't here last week, and but Dee and Cheryl and Colleen and a few others were. So I had a good old chat to the chat. So there you go. Yeah, I thought everyone who's been joining me the last couple of weeks has obviously seen what I've been covering, and I was just telling Enzo that I've been covering just the updates to the Nancy Guthridge thing, and I'm going to stuff his name again. Let's see if I get it right. General McCasland. I don't know why I have so much trouble saying his name. McCasland. Not related in the way that I mean that they weren't abducted together or anything. Same sort of the same area of the. It's just interesting that they're in a similar area. He's in Arizona, I think, from memory.
Yeah, he's in Arizona. Well, no, he's in New Mexico.
New Mexico, yeah. So, what's that?
There's plenty of weird going on.
Jose, I don't think the marriage certificate could be haunted, but certainly the memory of the marriage could be haunting.
Well, you could have some residual that kind of spills off on there if that's what you consider the cause of all of your heartache.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Move forward, my friend. Unless it's really old, but no, I don't think so. I don't think, unless it's signed in blood.
But
yeah,
McCasland is from around Albuquerque, New Mexico, which it has its own little weirdness in the Albuquerque area. Which, of course, most people may remember. That's where the Breaking Bad series took place, and it's not far off from some of the colorful characters you can find around Albuquerque.
It's interesting. The things that to me a little annoying in both instances. Nancy Guthrie, absolutely, I'm not trying to connect the two cases. I'm just saying in way of evidence. So you've got the general who was seen talking to a workman at the house at 10 a.m., right? So he's blah, blah, blah. Workman says, yeah, he was normal, no worries. Workman finishes, wife goes to the doctor, comes home, hubby's not home, the general's not there. So he was there, and it's an hour and a bit window between when the workman last saw the general and the wife got home. Okay, that's not a big window to disappear. Somewhere in between the workman leaving and the wife coming home, the general has left the house with his wallet, his gun, and his holster, they say. Yep. Behind, as Enzo was pointing out before, left behind his glasses, be they reading glasses, his Apple Watch, and his phone. Nobody leaves the house without their phone unless they don't want to be tracked, or unless they're stupid and get halfway down the road and go, oh, I forgot my phone.
And you will turn around and run back and get it. This is your little ear tag to keep you going.
Yeah. So the thing that gets me, unless, look, it doesn't mean that they haven't found anything. It just means that perhaps they're not telling the public. The FBI is involved in both cases, both Nancy and the general. But I'm sort of surprised that nobody has come forward and said, oh, I've got footage on my cameras of a car leaving or whatever, or here I've got footage of him walking on foot, or what. Like, I've got security cameras where I live. If I heard someone in this area had gone missing, I can check my security cameras for anything peculiar, right? And the FBI would have asked, like, why? It's just, I don't know.
The other thing is,
but why take your gun? That's the problem.
Well, it is Albuquerque, New Mexico. It's kind of a rough and tumble town. It really is.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
it's strange that you wouldn't take your cell phone and stuff like that in 2026. That's kind of odd. Plus, as far as like nobody seeing him, no cameras seeing McCaslin, is he disappeared in the middle of the day. It was unlike the other lady there where it was well after dark. I forget how late it was.
With Nancy, it was something like 2 o'clock in the morning. But again, even with the Nancy Guthrie case, the interesting thing there is the son, Tommaso, dropped her off, he said, around about 9:15, something like that, in the evening. We haven't seen it yet, nor has, it doesn't mean it doesn't exist and that they haven't found it, but where's the footage of his car leaving her house? Where's the footage of him dropping her off? Like, they've got footage of other cars going past here and there. So where's the footage of that? So I'm very, very curious as to what the public obviously is not being told. So therefore, what evidence might they have that we're unaware of? But I don't know. It's all weird. But with the Nancy Guthrie case anyway, there's no real updates. I was telling Enzo, and if anyone was listening last week, which I know Cheryl and Dee were, I said last week that the blood that was in the house, I had seen in a picture somewhere, a photo. I had seen the photo that a reporter had obviously taken of the doorstep, and the front door was ajar, and on the floor of just inside the door on the floor was more blood splatter. And I thought, oh, why aren't people talking about, everyone's going, oh, where's the blood in the house? Where's the blood? Well, I saw that weeks ago. Why isn't anyone talking about that? All of a sudden now, the last couple of days, everyone's talking about the blood and where it was just inside the front door. And I'm like, I know I saw the photo of that. I can't remember where, but I know I saw it. And I thought, why are they only talking about that now? Which I said, it's sort of like as if, and we were discussing people with that thin skin, tissue paper skin that you can get when you're elderly, especially if you've been in the sun a lot. Usually people that have got high sun exposure develop that skin as they get older. It just takes literally, honestly, just a knock on something. You don't even have to cut yourself. A little scratch, reach up and grab a lock or whatever, so there's nothing to say that they hurt her and made her bleed. She may have been trying to reach up and unlock the door to get out, and maybe she did get out and they caught her. I don't know. And the back doors at Nancy's were apparently, what's the word? You put something in front of them to keep them open. I'm like, well, that's dodgy. So she's been taken or whatever, but it's just interesting. So no real updates there yet with Nancy at all. Really nothing. Everybody keeps talking about it, but there's really nothing. There's still, it's still very odd. Very odd. But back to the general, which is interesting. They did get the DNA. It is her blood. Yeah, they know that's Nancy's blood on the front doorstep. What about Mount Shasta, Cheryl?
Shasta's pretty weird.
Yeah, but I don't.
It has nothing to do with any of this, but we were just talking about weird places. But
oh, okay, yeah. So yeah, but back to the general. So I don't know. The only other thing I can think of is that he hasn't left the house. His wallet may have been in his pocket, as a lot of people do carry their wallets in their pocket during the day. The gun is the strange thing, but let's assume for a minute he was home. The workman leaves and he goes out the back for something, and there's, I don't know, let's call a rattlesnake or a coyote, or there's something in the backyard, and he goes, I'm going to grab my gun. I don't know why you would grab your pistol or your gun, but let's just say, let's play devil's advocate. He's grabbed his gun, he's gone out in the backyard, he's been attacked by a pack of wolves, and they've dragged him off and gobbled him all up, and that's why we can't find anything. I mean, that's even more crazy a theory than saying he's been abducted by aliens. It's just really,
that is because that's something that his wife jokingly said in her public comment about it, because she had seen all the the riffraff online mentioning that because that is the other side of it, of kind of why people are sort of interested about him being gone, is he was literally put out by name in the WikiLeaks files from back in 2016 or whenever that was, when those all dropped, where he specifically was the person that they named as the military point of contact for UFO tech, basically, is what it boiled down to. Now, from his his particular pedigree, he did have a lot of exposure to a lot of classified information and a lot of top secret, projects, to include nuclear stuff and things like that. Of course, there's no official, oh yeah, he worked at Area 51 on the DR3B or what. There's nothing like that, of course, but that's where the whole UFO side comes from. Is Tom DeLonge, Blink 182 frontman, specifically dropped his name as the person that they'd been talking to about some of the UFO tech stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. It's still awfully. It's just weird, especially the links between all the other people that he'd worked with that have also disappeared.
There have been a few other people of similar backgrounds, and one person specifically did work underneath of him in one of their projects that have also mysteriously come up missing or been murdered in a curious way, or something like that within the last couple of months. And it's strange.
I've got this clip. I'll have to start and stop it though, because I'm not quite sure what News Nation is like when there we go. I'll just, sometimes people get cranky when you share their stuff. So we'll see. So I'll stop it and go. But this is News Nation talking about the disappearance and the links.
More and more mysteries confounding not only the disappearance of General Neil McCasland, but the mystery of this scientist and potentially others as well. The other intriguing twist in this whole tale, of course, is now it's been pointed out that there is a disappearance from just over a year ago of a woman called Monica Jacinto Reza in the Angeles Mountains behind Los Angeles in California. And she was a female scientist who had worked with General Neil McCasland under his command in the development of a super secret alloy called Mondaloy that is used in the construction of high oxygen-rich rocket environments. So this is another curious disappearance because this woman was on a hiking trail with friends.
I'm just pausing it so we don't get in trouble. But anyone who was watching me last week will know that I was discussing Monica and what happened to her. And that it's just, and not quite a year ago, it'll be a year in June that she's disappeared. So where are we really? 10 months ago that she disappeared? There's a couple of things that strike me as odd with her disappearance where he'll touch on in a minute, I think, how it come that she disappeared. But I'm assuming they ruled out foul play because she was with someone when she disappeared. So obviously that person she was with would have to be ruled out as did they do something to her and they're just making this up that she disappeared. But I don't know. That's interesting. I'd love to know who was with her when she disappeared.
A friend said he turned and looked, saw her no less than 30 feet away. She waved, appeared to be not in any distress or concern at all. And when he looked back a few moments later, she had literally disappeared. A curious disappearance made even more curious by the fact that someone, not identified, posted a premature death declaration for Monica Reza even before she was officially, supposedly, dead.
Yes, on Find a Grave, which is very odd. I'm going to dig a bit deeper and see if I can find out who was with her when she disappeared. That to me is intriguing. Whoever it was a male, obviously, but whoever he was, there had, and just to disappear on a hiking track, boom, gone.
That's classic missing 411 stuff right there.
Created on June the 26th, 2025, only 4 days into her disappearance, while helicopters and search and rescue teams were still looking for her. Someone unidentified posted a note on an obituary site saying that she had died. And they said that it was a green burial. There was no body recovered. There's never been a body recovered. There's been no official death certificate, no obituary. There's been no announcement by her employer. And yet someone took it upon themselves to announce that Monica Reza had died. How could they possibly have known that when no body has been recovered? There are more and more mysteries confounding not only the disappearance of General Neil McCasland, but the mystery of this scientist and potentially others as well. The other
weird.
Pretty strange. David Paulides is getting a lot of work the last couple of months.
And it's so, for someone that usually looks at things logically, that's why I think, well, let's look at this logically, take away all the crazy stuff. Look at this disappearance, hers included, logically. We had, for example, an actor, can't think of his name now, who disappeared in the Los Angeles mountains as well. He went hiking, he disappeared. Oh, where's he gone? This is odd. And they found his body, I don't know how many months later. He'd been eaten by wolves, etc. Bits and bobs were found. Can't think of his name now. But if that lady was behind the man as they're hiking, 30 feet behind you isn't a great distance. You would think that if she slipped, she would have at least gone, or something like that. But then again, maybe not. I mean, I've fallen over and not said a word and just gone, so,
yeah,
like
it's
there's no, yeah. I mean,
if you've never seen any of those missing 411 shows, I think you can actually watch. You can watch them, I think, for free on YouTube. Last I checked, just missing 411. There's, I think, 4 or 5 movies and a whole series of books by David Paulides, and that's how every single one of the cases he talks about is, where literally everybody's marching in a line down the the track or whatever it is, the path in somewhere in the United States around some hiking trail, and they see him, they turn around to talk to somebody, and they look back and they're just gone. It's just that easy to just go missing, apparently, in a national park. And there's a lot of theories out there, because the normal explanations don't work, because for a lot of the stuff that he covers in Missing 411 is they get all the park rangers out there, they get giant manhunts and helicopters and thermal imagery, and they get the dogs out and all that stuff, and they can't find them. And in a lot of cases, they never find them. Some cases are super weird, where they'll find them like a dozen miles away, where everybody was searching, and from where they went missing from. It's like, how the F did they get so far away? And some of these are like little kids. That's like, how did this like 10-year-old traverse 12 miles up the side of a mountain to find themselves over here? That kind of stuff. Some of it's pretty creepy.
Mysteries, yeah, they're pretty weird. Jose says some of the trails and places are not where there are sudden crevices and ravines. Well, look, that's true. I watch a fellow who uses a drone and Google Maps, and he finds things on Google Maps. He goes out with his drone and he looks around, and then he hikes, and he wears a GoPro. And I mean, he's hiking on the edge of a friggin' mountain, where if you fell, good luck finding you. Someone would eventually, but so
that I remember, the Julian Sands was the actor you were referring to earlier.
Thank you, yeah.
And
because
it was the same thing with him, where he basically just slipped off the edge of one of the trails and fell in down into a crevice somewhere, or a crevasse, if you like, and probably died after the fall, and then the local wildlife took over and kind of scattered them all over. So,
I mean, very sad ending for anybody. It is possible. I mean, they've been out. I mean, even when Julian disappeared, they went out full force with choppers and all sorts, and they didn't find him. Nope. So there's every possibility that this Monica lady hasn't disappeared, but much like Julian, she's fallen into something, onto something, whatever. And she may be, I mean, if we take away all the conspiracy, if take all that away for a minute, she was hiking. She wasn't alone. She disappeared. And it's very possible that even here we have people fall, and people will say, well, he was back there and he fell, and they go searching for people, and it's days or weeks, like, or never that you find where they went. So, possible that, it's possible that it was.
And chances are pretty good. Maybe, a few months from now, we'll find McCaslin and or somebody like that, because McCaslin was a big hiker. He loved going on the hiking trails, and there's hundreds of miles of hiking trails there around eastern Albuquerque, where the Sandia Mountains are. Beautiful place, very picturesque to run around there. Crawl all the way up to the top of the mountains and overlook the city, that kind of stuff. Very picturesque. Mostly a desert kind of an environment, but there's a lot of nooks and crannies to where if you slipped off the main trail, you're just gone, and they won't find you for a long time.
Yeah.
And a lot of those paths have already been searched. There was there's been a couple of YouTubers that are avid hikers that went and joined in on the search. And they went through a lot of the main trails, and they're looking, they're taking their time, and they're looking off to the sides and all that stuff. Because supposedly he was wearing one of the articles of clothing he did have was like this really bright lime green kind of high visibility type hiking shirt. And you would be able to spot that right away if it's just off the trail. You would think.
Yeah.
But
so far as I know, Cheryl, he did backtrack to see if he could find her, and then when he couldn't, that's when he's raised the alarm. I like that. I know it's a spelling mistake, not
Cadabra.
On Cadabra dogs.
Cadabra. Reach out and grab it.
It's all right. I'm sure that was auto. What you call it? I've done that a couple of times. What's Jose saying? Some of those 411 cases are bizarre in basically open kind of wilderness to lay with very much in the same. Yeah. I know.
Yeah,
so,
there's those stories too, where places where professionals, searchers have gone over it dozens of times, and then a couple of weeks later, somebody's like, "Hey, we found this body here. It's right here. How did you guys not see it? He's right there." It's like, wait a minute, we did. We looked everywhere other there.
But it's just I don't know, because YouTube and all that sort of thing, they like to make everything mysterious, but sometimes the most logical thing, it doesn't matter who they used to work for or what they did as a job, they're still human beings that can make mistakes if they're out in the wilderness. As for the general, that's just super, super weird, because now she said he was known to go off on a walk and not necessarily say anything, but you would still
not to take his phone and all that.
Yeah, you would still think.
You would specifically want your phone with you just in case of an emergency. That's the kind of mindset most military types would have. Is it's not that big of a deal to carry your phone. Plus, your watch is tracking like all of your steps and the distance you've gone, and that's if you're an avid outdoorsman, hiker type person, that's one of those things you kind of like to brag and keep track of. So he didn't have that either. So that's a little mysterious to me.
Well, that's why it's a worry. He obviously hasn't just gone out for a hike, because he would take those things with him. I'm assuming they've put the workmen through through all sorts of questioning and interrogation, because he was the last person to see the general. And I'm assuming they've done the same with the wife. Well, one would hope. Only thing I can think of is he kind of like, maybe he's got a secret hidden room in his house. Maybe he's, like a bunker.
A secret his wife doesn't even know about in their own house?
Maybe she does know about it, and she's keeping it.
Maybe she's the one that locked him up in there.
Maybe. No. I'm saying, maybe she's just sick to death of him. I've had enough. I'm locking you in your bunker. But yeah, I don't know. It just seems. Look, anything's possible. Anything's possible. Anything is possible. Maybe he hasn't disappeared. Maybe he's in hiding. Maybe he's hiding in plain sight, which means maybe.
And to be honest, there are some people that are kind of thinking that same thing, which is why his wife was so flippant. It's like, maybe the UFOs got him or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Because he did disappear like 8 days after Trump sent out that tweet saying, "Yep, I'm going to have all our people scour their UFO records and we're going to release it all," that kind of stuff. Well, his name is already out there as tied to all that. So maybe he decided, I'm going to drop off the map for a while so I don't get mixed up in all this craziness.
Jose. The name of, remember that? The M cave and the guy went missing.
I remember that.
Look
it up real fast. I think you're right.
Kenny, I can't think of his last name, but Kenny.
Because
he had a channel.
Kenny Beach.
Beach, there you go, Kenny Beach. Yeah, I
Kenny
would
Beach,
assume
an
that
experienced hiker and YouTuber, disappeared in November 2014 while searching for a mysterious M cave he claimed to have found near Nellis Air Force Base in the Mojave Desert.
not to my knowledge. I don't think anyone's found the cave
No.
since. But I tell you what, I was watching again another YouTuber. They were in Italy. Granted, Italy is a little different than the United States, I suppose, and here, but for wartime. But he referred to it as a pillbox. So he used Google Maps and he saw like a pillbox shape on one of the mountains there in Italy, and he hiked there with his mum, and didn't quite get to the pillbox, but came across just a doorway, a rock doorway in the side of the mountain that you would never find. It was like covered, and went inside, and it was an old bunker system that you could, like big hallways, like a proper built one, like there'd be no worries walking 10 people abreast walking down this hallway with all little rooms off to the side, and the areas where the guns go out to shoot. He did a bit of searching, and he found out that during World War II, that's where the Italians and Germans, had a big battle. But I think there was 3 of these big bunkers throughout that particular mountainside that you wouldn't know were there. You wouldn't know. He saw the pillbox type shape, which they found, which was the concrete lid, so to speak, of one of these smaller bunkers. It was a small one where you just walked in and there was just 3 gun placements. But the other ones they found just happened to, like, what's that, on their way to get up to that one, and huge, like you could live in them now. You could just go in and clean that out and you'd be right. Like, and I'm wondering if we do know there are underground cities that have been purpose built. Is there one, what was that mountain, Shasta Mountain? There's
Mount
probably one there.
Shasta. There are a lot of caves around there, and there's been a few famous UFO alien robot grandma stories about the Mount Shasta area going on there. There's a lot of Bigfoot and a lot of UFO activity around Mount Shasta.
Yeah, and the thing that gets me is if the fact that they could build really great bunkers like that back in the world in the 30s and 40s. Imagine what we're building now. And I've seen photographs. People have got photographs of these underground cities, massive, in mountainsides and crap, because that's where obviously all the rich people, not us, will die on the surface while they're all, but they'll be stuffed. Oh, well, no, they'll take scientists and stuff with them.
I remember the YouTuber, but he had several different, like, exploring underground places in Russia, of like old Cold War places where it's like stuff from like the 80s, where it's just this abandoned gigantic underground, concrete structure with like old trucks and stuff in there, and 80s era computers and stuff like that in there. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, hang on. What's Dee says? The recent drone footage of cliffs in the Barren, Arizona. A door opens and shuts. So weird. They went back and couldn't find it. See, that's possible, but nowadays too, with AI the way it is, far out. I don't know.
Yeah,
you've got to be so careful what you're looking at now. It looks real. Like, it looks real. It's really, really getting difficult. You still can, but it's really getting difficult if you don't. I think maybe because I edit things, Enzo might be similar, I don't know, but I edit a lot, so you can sometimes see things that aren't quite right. But I don't know.
Usually it's the ones that are kind of half-assed. It's like, okay, that sort of looks good, and then it does something that's like, all right, now I know it's bullshit. It's usually stands out right away, because I even found some stuff by accident while looking up one of our other stories we're going to be talking about later about meteors. So I was like, oh, that's an interesting. Oh, that's fake as crap. as soon as it gets to this one point where it's just exploded, it exploded, went all kinds of crazy. It's like, yeah, that's not real. That's not even close.
Where was the Curtis Wright building?
No, with that.
I don't know. Where was it, Jose? Jose. Yeah, it's just incredibly to me. Woodridge, New Jersey. Okay, New Jersey, and NJ's New Jersey, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Not bad for an Aussie. I'm getting better. Yeah, I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
know. It's just kind of crazy because you've got to remember we're 80 years on, roughly, a little bit more from World War II, and the capabilities of mankind back then with weapons but just digging, tunneling underground, making these things in the side of mountains was good, because when you see them, they're still standing, so they made them well.
Oh, yeah.
Which means 80 years later, they're definitely so much better. And they would be in the middle of Timbuktu, or I'm fascinated by the fact that there's a no-go zone in the, Chevy Chase, Grand Canyon.
Oh,
It's all right. I still always
okay,
see Chevy
let's go.
Chase with his arms around his wife. Let's go.
Okay, let's go.
Let's go. But yeah, there is so much that people with lots and lots of money can do and hide and pay people off. You know, uh, my mind isn't necessarily blown anymore if they said there's an underground city with a shopping mall and farms, and it probably is already functioning. There probably is a functioning, kind of like that show on TV. My daughter made me watch. Crikey, what was it called? Fallout.
Oh,
Fallout. Yeah, like
yeah.
they've got their big underground things, and they were growing things, and I thought, and then I thought, maybe. I had an
Yeah,
interesting.
it's fashioned after the video game, and it did a really good job about mimicking everything from the video game. I loved it for that.
Yeah, it's not a
Story
bad show.
wise, it's
I don't mind it. A bit
the story's a
violent.
little silly. Well,
Yeah, the
well, that's
story's
how the
silly.
video game is.
Yeah,
That's
that's what
the
my
game.
daughter said to me. She said, "Mum, that's like the video game," and I went, "Oh." I
You know,
said, "So long as
you
I
shoot
don't kill the
somebody with
dog."
like one bullet and they just explode with fountains of blood and stuff like that. It's
Yeah,
like,
I
yeah,
know.
that's
I
how the
just,
video
so long
game
as
is.
I don't kill the dog, I don't care about anybody else. Just don't kill the dog, all right? What was I going to say? Oh, I had an interesting conversation with Grok the other day, Enzo, because I've been watching a few things with Elon Musk's, what's it called? The chip to help people speak.
Mhm.
You know what I mean, the brain thing.
Yeah, the
Um,
neuro, whatever it is.
the
Yeah.
Neuralink, that's it.
Yeah.
And they had, God bless him, a man with ASL, a motor neuron disease, uh, who had lost the ability to speak. And the way they did it, you can find these on YouTube. Just write in, I don't know what you'd write in for a search. I just fell across it. Just type in Neuralink and see what comes up. But this gentleman who there was footage of him when he was okay and not ill, footage of him and audio of him speaking. So they took his speaking voice from that audio and created an AI voice based on his voice. Right? They put the Neuralink in, and he can't speak anymore. He sort of can, but it's very, very hard. And now he just thinks what he wants to say, so the words can't come out, but it comes out the computer in his voice. And I'm
That's
like
amazing.
Elon, what? I mean, I'm sure it wasn't just Elon. I don't know who made it or who come up with the idea. Maybe Elon's got some alien friends. Who knows? But I'm like, wow. So I was having a chat to Grok, and I said, "Say, Grok, if I wanted to, could I put my name down on the list?" And because I really like a chip in my brain, so that instead of having to get on the computer and type out questions and stuff, I could just be linked to the web and it'll all be in here. I could look really smart. And Grok goes, "Well, they're not doing that yet."
Yet.
And he said, go to, Grok says, go to this address and put your name down. And he said, eventually they'll get to your name. And he said, at the moment, though, they're only doing it for people that are severely ill, like that man with ASL or whatever. But geez, I'm getting older. I'd put my name up for that. I'd do that. Oh, I'd be half.
Unfortunately, at some point in the future, if a lot of people have that, you'll have to get it just to remain competitive in the job market with someone that does have that. Because if it's between, if you've got two resumes coming in and everything else is equal, but one guy has the chip that can connect to everything and the other guy doesn't, the guy with the chip is going to get the job.
That's right. You can even go into, you could somehow think, I don't know how they do it, but I'm going to die one day. I definitely would put my hand up and say, put it in and let's see what happens. Because you've got to charge it. I've seen how they charge it. It's so cool. They literally put the charger just,
a little thing on the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got to be charged and you've got to have a Wi-Fi connection. So if you wanted to eliminate, like what you were just saying, if there's somebody that does have one and you want to eliminate that advantage, well, then just no Wi-Fi and, just no Wi-Fi really, because if they've got no Wi-Fi,
go to the job interview and he goes in before you and you turn on your Wi-Fi jammer out in the hallway. So he's like, I can't pick up anything. I'm stupid.
Yeah, I don't know, but it's totally fascinating to me. So yeah, and for those that you who don't like grok, I'm sorry, I kind of like grok. It's kind of like an encyclopedia at your fingertips. So I don't like Chat GPT. That's something a bit weird about the Chat GPT, but I don't like it. But anyway, it is what it is. But I don't mind asking Grok stuff. And then even if Grok gives me information anyway, I take that info and then I research the info. So Grok might say 2010, blah, blah, blah happened and these were the people involved. Okay. Then I go in and I search through all my other stuff and go, oh, yeah, there it is. Oh, okay. So far, Grok hasn't made any mistakes. But there's always that one time that it might. But there you go. But yeah, so crazy things are happening, which brings me to the next crazy thing. Let's see. I shall play it for you guys.
We've always got more crazy.
There's always more crazy. So we'll listen to this one. I won't stop and start it. But we did talk about this before, guys. So apologies if it's, but the way things are going at the moment, I just thought you'd be interested to listen once more, and then Enzo and I will discuss.
The lady explained to me that in April of 26, there would be an alignment where this star, which is a blue star, of Regulus appears on the horizon in front of the Sphinx, and it would be red.
And you know what? This is right.
That's what she said.
I've actually spoken to astronomers. This is the phenomenal thing about this.
Yeah, and she said it'll be red. And when that happens, it would mark a shift into a new knowledge, not an apocalypse. That's what she told me. It doesn't mean Jesus is coming back. There's a new knowledge that's coming. What is that? Is it under the pyramids they've discovered something? Is it the Hall of Records? Is it disclosure? The lady explained to me that in
There we go. Sorry, be quiet. Be quiet, Chris. Oh my God. Sorry, I can't get it to shut up. There we go.
you talked up your good pal, and now he's taking over the show.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so the reason I was saying this, because of late, I don't know if I've still got, Enzo's probably got some information on this. But where are we?
Chris Bledsoe?
There goes my dog.
Well, I don't know how old that interview was that you just played, but his original thing was
last year.
Yeah. His original thing was that the lady had told him when the Star of Regulus is in line with the Sphinx, in the eye line with the Sphinx or whatever it is, and will shine red, basically meaning because Regulus is a blue giant star. But when it's close to the horizon, much like our sun, at sunrise or sunset, it seems like it shifts red. Everything shifts red because you're looking through a thicker chunk of the atmosphere than like if you were going directly overhead. But it's not, the star itself isn't changing colors. It's just the way it's viewed from Earth. But he said originally, probably for that interview, that basically it aligned to when that would be like around Easter, which is next weekend. And you're muted, Karen, just so you know.
Sorry, the dog was barking. He said also it would be related to the Iran and the USA
right
fighting. So he said when missiles are fired, blah, blah, blah. And I've noticed listening to the news this morning that Iran has once again threatened civilian schools, universities, etc., in Israel and America. So whatever.
Yeah, they're the good guys.
That's the thing with Iran. They kill civilians. They don't worry about military things. But yeah. So his way of thinking was that once missiles are fired and there's this thing happening on, the orbs will come up out of the ocean and something will happen. So I think that was later than that one, or vice versa. I don't know. But
I kind of, again, I'm not to defend Chris Bledsoe or anything like that, but I think the intention was it wasn't like one will cause the other. It's like these are things that are all going to be happening at the same time, along with when Regulus is pointed in this certain direction, which originally, because if you watch the Chris Bledsoe show that was on the Y-Files basement thing that he did, he says it pretty clearly right there. It's like, hey, I'm not a scientist. I don't know. I was just told, that would be around Easter, but as it turns out, that's incorrect. When that star is in line to where it would be in the gaze of the Sphinx, that's more like October-ish, time frame. It's the latter part of the year.
Yeah. So who knows? And then we've got Scott. Scott Walter. The book came, guys. The book came. Saying that those scrolls he uncovered said that to beware a false prophet on the 6th of the 6th, 26. So that's only June. And I'm like, all this crazy stuff. But I thought because it was all sort of supposed to be linked around that basically there'll be more sightings, more UFO sightings, like a heightened thing. And so I thought, well, I got up a list of things, and you might be able to comment on some of these, Enzo. So let's see, March 3rd in Santa Fe, New Mexico. A silent, hovering object with no visible propulsion was filmed southwest of the city around 6:30 p.m. Witnesses noted it appeared to defy conventional flight characteristics. A U.S. Army helicopter was reportedly observed circling the area for hours afterwards. There is I suppose there is a video of it. Let's have a look. You want to see?
I haven't heard of this one. I don't know what this one
is. Let's see. Share. I'll mute it because these usually have bloody, what do you call it?
Music or something like that.
Music, yeah.
March 3rd, 2026, Santa Fe, New Mexico. Ooh. Okay.
Well, it just looks like
right off to it appears to be off to the west, the setting sun. Okay.
Oh. Well, that could have just been the camera.
That's autofocus.
Yeah, autofocus. Yeah.
That's amazing. That's There's that. That's
Okay, red
some
light.
type of aircraft.
Yeah.
Obviously there. I think I have seen this now that I think of it.
I don't know. So far, I've seen nothing convincing. Let's have a look. To me, it just looks like bad camera. Like, pull over. Someone's filming. Filming from a moving car doesn't help.
I hope it's the passenger that's doing this filming, but
Well, it's not moving.
yeah, it doesn't seem to be.
It could be anything.
Without checking any star charts or anything like that, my default would be Mercury or Venus.
I'm just
probably more like Venus. Oh, okay. Gonna zoom in on there.
Well, that is a bit unusual, that color.
Well,
but it's flat. It's sort of flashing. It could be anything. It could be.
There's a lot of stuff that could be, because we can see there's thin clouds right there. We can see that it's obviously low on the horizon. It's almost right in line with those beautiful picturesque mountains. Oh, it's a little lower now. I'm going to assume this is later in the day, and it's moved lower, which is what
and then
it's
lower again.
would do.
I don't know.
Yeah. I would probably lean towards a planet there, probably Venus, but
a planet or something. That's what I think too. So that was that one. And where are we? Oh, I'll get rid of that because I don't want that popping up again. I'm trying to get better with my there we go. So that was that one. New York City area, early to mid-March this year. Multiple reports of a mysterious light or formation, including 3 luminous dots hovering over Corona in Queens, noted in broader state hotspot data. And a viral video of the lights captured on March 8th, March 24th, and another sighting around 6:15 p.m. was filmed and shared widely. Description often includes silent, unusual movements. Some speculated drones versus a UAP. This one is on.
To kind of rewind for a second back to that previous video, Santa Fe, New Mexico, beginning of March, whenever it was.
Yeah. Was
that an afternoon thing or a morning thing?
Did
it say?
Don't know. I'll have a look. Hang on. Where is my information? There it is.
Because the reason I ask, so I looked it up real fast.
6:30 p.m.
Well, Venus was a morning time star in the sky for that time frame. So that wouldn't have been Venus, whatever that video was.
Okay. Well, this is okay. So this is the New York City one. So let's see what.
All right. What do we got?
More great camera work.
Well, that's the thing is, yeah.
Yeah, we can see it. We don't need to put the arrow there. I can see it, but again, it could be anything. Well, that was that.
Wait, that was the whole thing?
That was the whole thing. Well, I don't
know.
That's probably just a drone. But in Roswell, New Mexico, March the 25th, a shiny, is there a, okay, let's have a look. There's supposed to be a, oh, okay. Well, this is just a photo, I think, or is it a video? I'm just trying to see, guys. Hang on a second. How do I share this? I don't know. Anyway, I'll read what it says first. Roswell, New Mexico, March 25th. A shiny, reflective object described as squid-like or bizarre in shape was spotted hovering in the morning sky near the famous 1947 incident site. Its appearance drew significant attention due to the location's UFO history, with the witnesses noting the eerie glow from the sunlit reflection. And this is a photo.
Squid-like. Whoa.
Hi, Kathy.
March 25th. Just 3 days ago. Jeez.
Yeah, so, I mean, that is interesting. Don't know what it is, but it's certainly interesting. Yeah. Let me see. I'll leave that up for a minute to ponder. Florida. Florida sightings, mid-March. Viral videos emerged of a glowing object hovering silently before accelerating rapidly and disappearing. One widely shared clip from around March 19 described a completely bizarre-looking spacecraft. Florida continues to rank high in historical per capita UFO reports. Let's see. Oh, God. It looks like a drone to me, but anyway, I'll show you. I'm making sure there's no sound on this one too. Share. This could be rubbish, this one, but we'll see.
Oh.
Yeah, this looks like a drone to me, but let's see. I've got the sound off, so hang on. That's a drone.
What in the world?
Drone?
Yeah, I would guess that's somebody
playing funny
putting
buggers.
a lot of crazy lights and stuff on their DJI Maverick drone and
Comet? Oh.
No, not changing directions like that.
Okay, don't know what that is. Where's it gone? It's gone.
Yeah, any kind of meteor or anything like that, which would start off kind of like that. I don't know what the hell that is. That's
a rocket. Someone's fired off their own little rocket, maybe.
No, I mean that's something that's in the air.
I've seen movies like that. Kids get a little rocket and shoot it off from the middle of a baseball pitch. All right, what else have we got?
Wow.
That looks, I don't know. There's just a picture by the looks of things. Oh no, it's moving. A comet?
No.
Oh, but comets usually have a longer.
Well, I think we might be mixing up our definitions here. A comet would be like stationary in the sky, like the moon. As the night goes on, it would slowly move across the sky. But
then a shooting star.
But a shooting star or a meteor would be moving across the sky as you're looking at it, and those would only move in a straight line. They wouldn't stop. They wouldn't change directions or anything like that. It's basically a meteor is something that's falling into the atmosphere and burning up. Moving at thousands of miles per hour.
It's certainly interesting, but that's the Florida one. But let's see, Moore Park in California. There's no pictures of this one, but Moon Park in California, a flying disc reportedly seen briefly from a hot tub.
Hey, all the best UFO sightings come from a hot tub.
From a hot tub. Various orbs or lights in states like Idaho, in Worley, March 24, Alabama in March 24th, same day, Washington, Castle Rock, described as a large unlit plane with a smaller craft in a V formation. And then it says,
a large unlit plane with a smaller plane in a V formation. How does that even work? Okay.
I don't know, that's what it says. What's NUFORC? NUFORC.
National UFO Reporting Center.
Oh, thank you. Okay. Logged around 142 to 152 reports for March 2026 overall, with common shapes including orbs, lights, and triangles. Fewer than prior months, but with several high visibility social media cases. Internationally, viral claims include sightings in Iran, Dubai, Colombia, often showing glowing objects. Official and background developments. The Pentagon held workshops on better analysing narratives of UAP data with AI. So nothing exciting, if you ask me. Nothing that sort of looks, oh wow, you know.
Well, since we're going to go into that topic, we're certainly in the middle of some type of strange meteor shower thing. But the thing is the way that like we have like meteor showers that are fairly predictable, which the way our meteor showers that we have throughout the year are from old comets cycling through the solar system, and it leaves a big trail of debris. And then as Earth's orbit goes into where that trail of debris is, that stuff will get attracted to the Earth from gravity, and it'll fall down on the Earth. And you have like pebble-sized, meteorites that burn up in the atmosphere, and some are larger than others, and you'll see, some of which you'll see some of the that'll be hundreds of them an hour. And stuff like that. Right now, being the last weekend in March, we're kind of between two big, normal scheduled type meteor showers. But since like February, we've been getting a lot of really bright fireballs, is what they're technically referred to. Where basically that's a brighter than normal meteor, where if you think like your average shooting star, if you happen to be outside, if you happen to be looking up the sky, and you see a quick zik go by, that's your average size meteor, which is probably the size of like a pea. It's moving at 15,000 kilometers per hour when it's hitting the upper atmosphere, and that's why it's burning up. But really the last like month and a half, there's been reports from all over the world of, because I'll even go as far to do this. Sightings from California, sightings from Texas, sightings from Ohio, sightings from Canada, sightings from, there's New York again, there's Florida, Indiana, Louisiana, there's Ohio, there's Texas again, more Texas, more Ohio, Michigan. They're coming from all over the place. To the point where,
sure.
NASA's All Sky Fireball Network, where they have specific cameras pointed at the sky the entire time to detect fireballs. You can see their latest stuff here on the left-hand side of the column here. This is not even going all the way back to the 1st of March because there's so many. Because normally, this is the chart of normal sightings of just fireballs, like the really bright ones. And like this line here, that's like 6, like a month kind of thing. Because this goes back to like January. This is like January 2018 right here. All the way up until the very end, where we're pegging out in just March. And the very end there, you can see that how big that chart is, that's a way, way above normal at a time we don't normally see this kind of stuff. And it's being reported from all over the world. We've got stuff from not just the United States, but we've got stuff in Denmark and the Netherlands. There's China, there's Canada, there's Philippines, there's France, there's all Central Europe right there, all over in just really the last 30 days specifically. And I have a theory. I have an idea that I haven't heard anybody talk about yet.
Okay. I'll tell you what I think it could be.
Okay, go ahead.
what if some of it, not all of it, but what if some of it is actually missiles being shot down before they blow up, and they're just not telling us so we don't get scared?
Okay, I can sort of see that. Well, because along with all of this, there's hundreds of videos out there of daylight, visions of these things falling out of the sky. You would see like an interceptor missile coming up to hit the incoming missile, and there would be an explosion loud enough to where you hear that stuff on the ground. From my own personal experience during Desert Shield and Desert Storm, seeing Scud missiles inbound to my location, you certainly will hear it when missiles are inbound to there. So I understand and I get what you're saying that, and there are similarities from some of the war footage we've seen over the last 4 or 5 weeks. I don't think that's what this is, especially like over the continental United States and all these other countries across the world. But I got an idea.
Well, all right, let's hear your idea.
Do you remember our good old pal Comet 3I Atlas?
Oh, yeah.
Now, if you remember, about 6 months ago is when all the big rage was 3I Atlas is coming to kill us all with super space micrometeorite, blah, 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 blah. And well, it just happens to be that its closest approach to Earth and everything else, it's on the opposite side of the sun, so we can't actually see it. Remember that? This is what I have behind me here. This is a chart of the inner solar system live. We have the sun here in the middle. We've got Mercury is this kind of pink thing. This purple one is Venus. Blue one is Earth. This red one here at the top, that's Mars. That's that orbit. This white line that you see stretching across the whole top, that's 3I Atlas. That's its path that it took as it was going through the solar system. Now, Earth, we were like down here at the bottom 6 months ago, five plus months ago, when it was right here is where 3I Atlas was. Well, it's been about 6 months, and Earth is right here, top. So this little thing is right here. And we're right next to where that line of where it was 6 months ago. It's actually out past Jupiter. That's what this yellow line is here on the right, and on its way out of the solar system. But for us here on Earth, let me see if I can center Earth here. Basically, between the orbit of where Mars and Earth is where it took off. So we're now on the side where it was. So if it was like a normal comet, like scientists are saying it was, it would have left a trail of debris behind it, like we see at every other, meteor shower. That's what we say every meteor shower is from older comets that have cycled through the solar system and stuff like that. Well, the reason why this stuff isn't is because we've got a new player. We have an all new comet that has spread all new trash through the solar system. Now, technically, it's still kind of far out there for it to reach, our little blue line right here. You can see that's actually quite far. However, 6 months ago, as it was like right here 6 months ago, and it's since out past Jupiter right now. A lot of that stuff could have spread out, and I think we might be seeing a little bit. That's my guess. That's really kind of fringe and way outside of probably reality, but that's the only other explanation I see.
I would prefer to go with your idea than to think that Iran's actually getting missiles off.
No, I'll go with my wacky idea of just straight observational stuff. Then, it's not Iranian missiles showering down over the United States.
No, I don't say. How much is gas in America at the moment?
Depends on where you are, of course. It's probably like in comparison to like 3 months ago, for me, it's probably about 50 cents more expensive where I live.
So, how much is it a litre? I mean, a gallon when you fill up. Do you know off the top of your head?
Like for where I live in the middle part of the United States, where it's cheaper than everywhere else, probably about $3.50 a gallon, a little less probably.
That is so cheap, and I'll tell you why.
I know.
For those of us who don't, I don't know why the Americans are crying about the price of gas. So here in Australia at the moment, diesel, I won't talk about diesel, but just regular petrol, when I filled up yesterday, regular run-of-the-mill, not the real super cheap one, the one in the middle, was $2.79 per litre. And there is 3.7 litres in a gallon. So at the moment, let's see what that is. 3.7, I'll go put 3.7 times 270. We're nearly $10 a gallon.
Wow.
Yep.
I just double checked. It's 3.25 down the street where I live. So
it's it's doing my head in. And
how much of a jump from like 3 months ago is that for you?
Oh, big jump. That's huge. Because it's $2.70. I was only at $1.79 on a cheap day. $1.79 3 weeks ago, before the strait got closed down. Makes me angry, as I'm sure it makes most people angry, that here in Australia they put the price up immediately. Like there wasn't like now I would expect it to maybe start going up, because I think we've only got about 20 days worth of fuel left in the country. Yep. So they're already talking. I tell you what, the government is sneaky. They're already talking here in Australia about rationing, right? Which means that you can only get $40 worth of fuel at any one given time when you put fuel in your car. They're telling people to, does this sound familiar, anybody? Telling people to work from home, limit going out. So, work from home, limit going out, limit if you drive slowly to help save fuel, unnecessary traveling, all that sort of thing. So now, of course, with the fuel running low, other things to consider, all of our food. I don't know about America. It probably hasn't hit hard with America, because you're lucky. You've still got oil reserves.
Well, we make a lot of our own oil here in the U.S., and we only get a very small percentage that has to go through the Straits of Hormuz.
But you've also, and you've also got the Venezuelan oil now too, which is great. So I know you guys, it's going up, but when you look at, like, given we're around about $10 a gallon in comparison to America, like 3 times as much as what you guys are paying. So you're, in my opinion, super lucky. So stop complaining, please.
I'm not complaining. It wasn't that long ago where it was like at its current price under, the previous administration. It was only a couple of years ago.
Sleepy Joe.
Yeah. So it sucks. It always is going to suck. Have to pay more, no matter who or where you are or anything like that.
Yeah,
but
I'd be interested to hear from Cheryl and Tanya in regard to food. The other thing I've noticed in only the last couple of weeks, I've gone to the supermarket with my general, like there's 5 of us in the house, so $300, $350 a week I try to get away with, right, for food. I don't get away with it, but I try. What I would generally get for about $90 in meat, etc., cost me $150 this week. And I'm like, oh my Lord. and even just general things all gone up in price by at least $2 to $3. Some of the things, they're going to blame that on petrol, obviously, because diesel is expensive. So all the trucks that transport all your stuff to the shelves in the supermarket. So obviously the supermarkets are gouging. It's just going to go, it's going to get really, really bad, really, really fast here in Australia. Really, really fast. I don't know what can be done about it. Our government, unfortunately, and I'm ashamed of our government, it does not reflect Australians at all. It might reflect some idiots, but in general, it doesn't reflect Australians at all, in that when Trump said, can you send some ships to help the tankers get out of the strait, Australia said no. So did the UK. Now, Australia...
Yeah, and that's true. But that's in their own self-interest to do that.
Correct.
I don't know why you would say no.
Yeah, we don't have the ships perhaps that Trump wanted, because he wanted something, I believe, that could detect the mines in the... We don't have ships that do that, apparently. I double checked with my son, and he said, yeah, we don't have that. We've just got our tech compared to American tech is nowhere near it. Good. I'm glad it's not just me imagining it, Cheryl. But we could still send some ships to at least... look, I don't know. I don't know what to do. I mean, I don't know if sending ships... but Trump, he said, if you send your ships, I'll also have ships there to like, we'll do it together.
He was very upset. I saw him in a thing yesterday where it's like a lot of European countries and all the NATO countries were like, no, we're not going to send anything until it's over. Then we'll get involved with like rebuilding stuff. No.
No, you're not going to let America. You don't let America go to the fight and get rid of these. He's not asking for anyone to come and do the fighting.
No,
he's saying
basic support work.
Basic support, like, can you just watch these ships? Oh, my ships will be there too. That's what he said. My ships will be there. If the UK and the other NATO countries send some ships, the oil will get out. There shouldn't be an oil problem. And the stupid thing is, our country, Australia, we've got oil, like we've got oil here, but we don't. I think we've got 2 refineries. That's it. We get our oil, and it's my understanding we sell our oil out, right? It goes to Singapore. Singapore refine it and sell it back to us.
Yeah, that's kind of common. Yeah.
But it's just ridiculous. And then, of course, where does Singapore get most of their oil from? The Strait. And so for Australia and other, Asian countries to go, no, we're not going to help. Well, that's just stupid. But the unfortunate thing is it's because they want to keep a particular brand of people happy and to support the war. Our I don't know if you saw the footage. I'm pretty sure most people in this chat would have seen the footage of our stupid, honestly, wimp. I can't stand him. Our Prime Minister. Now, he went to a mosque in Sydney, and he's sitting there on the floor, legs crossed, in with all the mosque people, la, 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 whatever. Last day of Ramadan or something, I think it was. And other Islamists come in and start screaming at him, calling him a genocide lover, supporting Israel, blah, 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 because he didn't say anything against the war in Israel, right? He kind of has, but he didn't say it like Starmer has. Right. Starmer has literally said, it's an illegal war, blah, 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 bloody stupid pom. But so what's happened is Albo has gone into this mosque. They've shouted him out. Yeah, they would have, if they could have killed him there and then, they would have grabbed him and torn him apart. He's come out is given later on that day, or perhaps the next day, he's given a talk to the press, and the press have asked him about it, and he goes, "Oh, it was nothing much to worry about. It was just a couple of disgruntled people." No, it wasn't. When he's walking out, there was quite a few disgruntled people. He lied, and he's keeping these people happy because he needs their votes. And it's just like Sleepy Joe was with the illegal immigrants, keeping them happy because he needs their votes. And it's happening here, and people are getting jack of it. And now look at what's happened. He won't go in and get our oil because he's too scared to upset that particular lot of the population. I don't care about that part of the population. I care about everybody here in Australia. We need to eat. We need fuel. The farmers need fuel for their stuff to get our food to us.
Right.
Oh, yeah, Sleepy
Can you grow food year round down there where you're at? Like a garden kind of a thing?
Yeah. And that's what I'm thinking of doing. I did try, but then I got busy and forgot to water it.
Oh,
but I'm not, but I'm going to have to do
get you some
yeah,
tomatoes, some onions, some green peppers. You can make your own salsa. You can add that's just a multiplier for anything that you have already laying around. So that's just bonus. And you can have supply something like that.
I'm not quite sure what you're watching, Dee. He hasn't lost the plot. He's got something in mind, something big, and I think he doesn't do anything without a plan. He doesn't do anything without a plan. He's very thought out. Whatever he is doing, there's an end game to it. And it's going to put America in a very, very good position.
It is. It's certainly one of those things where it is kind of like the biggest gamble he's taken on the world stage with
but
this.
He's got balls. He needed to take the gamble. You can't have them.
Unfortunately, it's one of these things that it should have been dealt with decades ago before it ever got to this point. And it would have hurt back then whenever you would have done it, 20 years ago or more. There's no good way to go in there's no punch these guys in the nose because
it is what it is. At the end of the day, if he can, I think it's still too soon for the Iranian people to rise up because they tried. And look, I spoke about this last week. That young, it's still too dangerous. They're still getting shot down when they try or executed in public. I don't know how the Iranian people are going to do it, but I think there's still a little bit to get knocked out. I really don't think Trump was going for a regime change. He was hoping for one. He doesn't want to do it. He's hoping that the Iranian people, he's also asking at the moment, he's asking Kuwait and Qatar, all of those countries to come on in and help because they've been getting pommeled as well. Well, that wouldn't I don't know. They've always had backing. Obama gave
backing from who? I just typed that in the chat myself.
Probably, I don't know.
All of Iran's neighbors have all been marauded against from Iran over the last nearly 50 years. So they're more than happy to see somebody come in and kick them in the face because they're the ugly neighbor that they kind of had to put up with. They may not necessarily have to put up with that nonsense now, where most of their military has basically been eliminated. So
I haven't heard of any other backing coming in to help them. I've heard that Russia is giving them intel, but that's nothing new.
The local neighbors that would have been may have rendered assistance at some point. They've been throwing missiles at them a lot, and bombing city centers and stuff like that all around that. So no, a lot of their neighbors that have been kind of tolerant because they had to, because they were the kind of the bully of the Middle East, have realized now that they can take the upper hand and they don't have to take shit off Iran anymore. So they're going to let them burn, and that's pretty obvious at this stage. 4+ weeks into it now, that they haven't really done anything to help them, and they're not gonna, because they don't want them either. It's that whole regime running that place. Because Iran could be a beautiful shining star in the Middle East, elevating everything else. Because it's and they were back in the 70s. They were amazing. Colleges everywhere. There was a Chevrolet dealership on every corner, and girls in mini skirts going to college, drinking a Coca-Cola, stuff like that. All of these stories and pictures that we've seen, they can easily get back to that, as long as they just get rid of the nonsense that's been going on there the last, since the 70s. It's they've had their time enough, and we finally have somebody that has said enough. We are not putting up with your stuff. A lot of people, like a lot of people on the right here in the United States, have been complaining. Trump said no more new wars or whatever. It's like, well, he also campaigned that Iran will not have nuclear weapons.
He did.
And that's not something you're going to send pallets full of cash to try and fix. There's only one other way to do it, because that's the other part that hasn't unfolded yet. It is going to involve troops on the ground. Basically, the United States is going to go in all these nuclear sites where they've been, refining uranium and all that stuff. They're going to go in and take it. They're every radioactive. If they've got a glowy watch, they're going to snatch it off of them, and they're going to take it.
I wouldn't worry too much about the Houthi. They've had the absolute crap bombed out of them too. I don't even think that's new news. I think that could be fake news. I
wouldn't be super excited about that.
No, it's interesting though. Like, there's a lot of old footage surfacing of Donald talking about Iran and how it needs to be stopped. So it's nothing new for Donald. Like, Donald's always said that if he were president, he'd just go in and destroy them. So this is why people need to do research when they vote for people. Like in this country, people voted Labor again and again and again, and they've got this crazy idea that Labor's going to help us all. No, we're heading in the way of the way UK is. So it's getting pretty horrifying here. I don't know. They were talking. Like in the UK, for example, now all of Trafalgar Square, you don't have to take my word for it, just Google it and you'll see the photos and the footage. Trafalgar Square, which is massive, completely covered in people praying. So they'd taken their little rugs all to Trafalgar Square. I don't know, it looked like a couple of thousand, gotten down and done their prayer. What have they? They've got their mosques. Go pray in your mosque. If we as Christians did that and went and started filling up the streets and blocking footpaths,
everybody would start crying. Yeah.
Oh, it'd be, bloody Christians, bloody Bible bashers, But they're being allowed to do it. It's happening here. It's happened twice so far in Melbourne. Same thing. Federation Square got filled up. They circled our beautiful cathedral here in Melbourne and did the same thing. Like, hello, no, thank you. None of that business. No. N-O with a capital no. But no, the government's here won't say anything. And if you say no, apparently that's hateful. No, it's not hateful. It's respectful. You don't do that. You don't block. You don't do that. You just don't do that. So I'm really pissed off. Can you tell? But it's getting that way with you too, Enzo, over there. I've seen. Let's have a look. Which cup? Oh yes.
Let me get
Get
out
a
of the way
room.
here. Whoa.
Oh, get a room, guys. Get a room. Pity you can't talk to him.
So, hey, what are you doing?
Get a
Make sure you
room.
have protection.
So yeah, it's a crazy world at the moment. But I here in Australia, we've got our redhead Enzo. I've spoken about it before, Pauline
Yeah.
Hanson.
What's her name? Yeah,
And she's got the same problem that Donald had, in that you've got the crazy left people. Oh, she's a racist. Oh, she doesn't know what she's talking about. Oh, she's stupid. Oh, she's this. Oh, they obviously have not looked into her properly. She's not racist, far from it. And but it doesn't matter. I put all the facts in front. I had a bit of a debate with someone online the other day on the Facebook, and I put all the facts there. I put the links. Here's her webpage. You can read policy. As for racism, no, here's what she's always said. She's just against immigration of people coming into the country with no, what do you call it? No skills, like just coming in and boom, and they're straight onto the dole or benefits. Like, you can't have that. The country can barely afford the people that were born here to have benefits. So what's the point in people coming into the country and boom, they're straight on, which your country was having issues with due to Sleepy Joe. And then the other argument was, oh yeah, no, she's racist. She said something or other to an Aboriginal lady once. And I said, oh, okay, who was the Aboriginal lady? I'd like to look that up, because what you're saying does sound racist. Who was she and when did this happen? No answer. Crickets. People are getting all this stupid information that's not true or blown out of proportion. She did say no Muslim is a good Muslim, and she was referring, because it came after she talked about radical Islam, and that's what she was talking about. She wasn't actually saying no Muslims are good. She was, because she was.
You could easily say that with like radical Christianity and stuff like that.
You can.
Whatever that radical part is, nobody wants anything to do with it.
Nobody wants anything to do with it. So, it is what it is, but I'm just over it. I'm just like, fucking shut up. So she can't become prime minister, but she's got a really good following at the moment, and at the very least, she's ahead. So we have two parties here, but she's ahead of one of our parties now in popularity. So it doesn't mean that she'll get elected as prime minister, but if she gets enough seats in our parliament, your version is Congress, who knows what could happen in a few years. People are jack of it. People, just like they got in America, they're just sick to friggin' death of all the bull crap. America first, Australia first. Every country should put their own people first, their own culture first. Welcome in people from another country if they're fleeing from a terrible regime, absolutely. But when you come to the country, you do your best to learn our language, and you understand our way of life, and understand that your way of life that you left, that's not happening here.
There's a reason you left it. Don't bring it here.
There's a reason you left. And if but at their own word, and then I'm going to get off this subject, but when spoken to, they say that the reason they immigrate to these countries, the reason they've gone to the UK, the reason they're there in America, the reason they're here in Australia is primarily to make friends with us and convert us to Islam. And if we don't convert to Islam, we are the enemy. That's it. That's all they want to
really
do. They
sound that friendly, really.
Yeah, so they're not very friendly, but there's a lot of good ones. Like, there's a lot that don't follow the really bad.
There's a lot. I mean, my dentist is Muslim, and I go to him all the time. Closed on Fridays, so it's like, well, I guess I can't have dental work done on Friday, but he does a great job, and I've been with him for many, many years. And
that's what I mean.
He's from Syria originally.
Yeah.
And every time I go in there, he knows my background, he knows my past, and we've chatted many times about a lot of things like this that we're talking about. He's like, oh, those guys are crazy.
Exactly. Like and if I could go back in time to when I used to work at Robert Bosch Australia in Clayton, Victoria, there was primarily German, Lebanese, Turkish, and Australian, and Greek. A lot of Greek people. There were many different backgrounds there, but the Turkish boys were very Muslim and very nice. I was good friends with one of them, and he was a married man, one I was good friends with, and he'd often bring in pictures of his children and whatnot. But the boys would say that back then in the 80s that they love Australia because they'd go to the beach and they'd do everything Aussies did, right? Barbecues, whatever. But they they knew they could never marry an Australian girl unless she converted, because their parents were, were Islam. And so therefore Australian girls were unclean and not good and can't have anything. But they were, oh, cool. So what are you going out with one for? Oh, because my mum and dad don't know I'm going out with her, but I'm allowed to go out with her. My dad says I'm allowed to have relations with her, just I'm not allowed to get her pregnant because not allowed to marry an Australian girl. And that's how it was in the 80s. So I can't imagine it's changed much, but they were normal. And they were even starting to say, but, can't go against dad because I'll get in trouble. But it is what it is. It is what it is. What's your brain ticking about, Tanya? My brain clicking about Stormy Day 2007, your partner. Click, click. Oh.
What is that?
Stormy. Yeah, I don't know. Please explain. Please explain. So Dee's partner is Stormy Day 2007, whom I've not seen around, actually. I haven't seen Stormy Day in the chat for a while. I did meet Dee in Melbourne, didn't I, Dee? We went to see the Titanic thing. You put the goggles on.
Yeah, the mobile. Oh, okay.
Yeah, but anyway, that's enough of me venting about everything. I'm just over it. I'm just annoyed that petrol's gone up so much that I'm worried about actually being able to drive to my son's every Monday to look after the baby.
Goodness. Yeah.
Because if he was just up around the corner, not so much, but he's not. He's a 40-minute drive away, 50 to an hour in bad traffic. And it's kind of like,
anyone that's in the U.S. bitching about it is full of crap. Because I did a comparison because I always drive out to California for to go to Contact in the Desert every year. I didn't go last year just because I was trying to save money for the van and blah, 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 all that stuff. So I didn't go last year, but I had my notes for like gas prices and how much it was going to cost me for the year before last compared to today. I just did this yesterday, day before yesterday, where I'm still paying less with this outrageous gas prices than I was 2 years ago when I went out to California. I'm actually saving quite a bit of money, in comparison. So it's more than it was, but it's only like an extra year. If you add an extra year onto that, you were paying way more. So anyone that's complaining now should have been complaining 2 years ago, but they weren't, were they?
No, which is really weird. I wonder why. Oh, hey, Stormy. So it's really weird. It's just so much is happening in the world right now. Everything is mental. Let's hope that in April someone does come and rescue us. That'd be nice, but I don't know. I don't know. And then you've got, like I say, you've got Scott saying about the scrolls, but that was a warning. That was beware the false prophet on the 6th of the 6th, 26th. And I'm like,
do you see, especially with the update that the star thing was wrong, Do you see anything happening for Easter, around Easter?
I will say what's happening in England at the moment around Easter. I don't know if it's England wide, but Easter eggs, not allowed to call them Easter eggs anymore.
What? What are they called?
Greeting eggs. So it's not to offend certain people. I'm like, oh. Just hasn't happened here yet. They're still called Easter eggs in our supermarket at the moment, but I swear to God, it better not happen here. I mean, really, honestly, Easter eggs, as they say, they took away years ago. They took away the kids didn't stop celebrating, the baby Jesus in the major. What do you call it? The nativity play. Only Catholic schools and stuff do that now. I don't know. Maybe some select primary schools still do it, but again, that was taken away. Now that was years ago. My kids, Alex is nearly 40, so he was in kindy. They still did it then. I think he was in about grade. So 30 odd years ago, they took away that because then there were certain religious groups upset that I don't want my child doing that at school. Because their children were of a different faith. Okay, well, that's okay. Your child doesn't have to do that at school. Just simply say, I don't want to take part in the nativity play because I am Buddhist. All right, whatever you want to say. But yeah, but I'm just over it. I'm just over it. I just think, this is just getting beyond the joke. Easter is Easter. It's not a greeting. Next thing, they'll be cancelling Easter.
It is coming up. Yeah. I think we'll be okay in the long run. I think we'll be fine.
I think so too. But anyway, I'm glad Donald's doing what he's doing. I'm glad that he was brave enough to do what he's doing. He's got a good bunch of people behind him. He's got some backstabbers behind him too, but he's slowly getting rid of them.
My personal prediction as far as how this is all going to go is we probably got another week of futzing about bombing this and that and supposedly behind the scene deals where the United States, Trump will say it's like, oh, we're having some very good talks, and then not even 10 minutes after he says that, Iran will come out and it's like, we don't even have any talks. We don't know what you're talking about. We oppose everything. Actually, we're demanding the United States surrender right now. Just nonsense that comes out of that country. It's just because there's this weird thing, especially with Iran versus all the other Middle Eastern countries. They have this weird saving face thing where they will publicly say the craziest stuff that doesn't even match reality. But behind the scenes, they're like, don't bomb us anymore. We don't want any of this stuff going on. But I think realistically, we probably got another week of, just continual bombing around the clock of various military sites. But eventually there's going to have to be a point where they go in and start taking stuff like they've been talking about. They're going to start, they're going to put a button, as much as, especially America hates to think about this. There's going to be troops on the ground. They're going to secure that one island that has all their oil and all their, depots and all that, oil depots and stuff like that. They're basically going to protect that.
Yeah, I saw them talking about that island the other day. It's got a name. It starts with C, doesn't it?
I forget what it's called too, but they're going to secure that because Iran's going to need that to rebuild when all of this is over in a few more weeks. They're also at some point in the next couple of weeks, you're going to start seeing strike forces going into the middle of the country. All these reputed refining, nuclear refining type sites. You're going to start seeing troops showing up in the middle of the night and say, and basically whatever is in there, If it's glowing, they're taking it.
Yeah.
They are physically going to start removing all of that stuff and just pulling it out. Now, when all of this stuff is going on, because obviously Iran's going to be super mad because there's troops on the ground, blah, 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 blah. And they're going to send a shitload of troops, go just dump them in there by the truckloads. And they're just going to get disintegrated. That's when you're going to start seeing all of like these frontline troops that are all armed to like just get wiped out by American military forces. That's when you're going to start seeing regular civilian counterpart forces. There's no more military, there's no more,
no
30 guys on the street corner with AKs, where that's going to be gone because they're all going to get wiped out, because that's going to be their frontline forces now, which are all going to get disintegrated. So then you can start seeing the civilian population uprising of taking over various city centers and things like that, where they can come in and flip the whole thing around, which is I think that's the grand design that Trump is after, is you take over your own country. This is yours to take.
And then he wants to make a good deal. That's why I'm saying this is good for America, because he wants to make a good deal then with Iran and whoever's in charge. More oil.
Right.
And
sure.
he's not.
The U.S. doesn't need it, but there's a whole lot of other like NATO countries and stuff like that do
need it.
So, but that I feel is the plan.
Yeah,
but
I
we'll see how that goes over
I
the
agree
next
with you on
few
that
weeks.
One. The only thing we need to be vigilant about in my country, the UK, your country, is, are we going to see sleeper cells wake up?
That is always going to be a concern. You may, if there's a giant, football game going on a Saturday or Sunday or whatever, that a lot of people,
security is good.
You may keep your head on a swivel. Maybe if you're very concerned about it, don't even go.
Yeah. Well, I because this is the thing, these horrible extremists, they don't, like here in Bondi, that was a family function. They knew that there were families there and children. They didn't care. And that's where it hurts the most. It was very nice here, actually. It was Melbourne, I believe. The Jewish community and the Iranian community got together to celebrate. I can't remember what it was they were celebrating, but it was the end of something. And they all got together, and it was really nice to see. I just hope that all these people saying, free Palestine. Well, it is free. It's been free since October. Like, hello, knock, knock, wake up, do your research. But unfortunately, you still have crazy people that are uneducated or they're just, you can't, there is no speaking to them. They're
gaslighting, maximum. It is bizarre.
It's really
for some folks.
Like even my own son, who is in the army, said, "Oh, bloody Trump! He started it. He can finish it." And I wasn't going to argue with him because he's in the army. But I sort of thought, yeah, but this country has always been trouble. Always. They wreak harm. They back killing of people. They have done it for the last, even before Iran got taken over, but when all the Persians lived there, they need to go. It's evil. It's just got to go. Let the Iranian people get their land back, and other countries have to get stronger with opposing radical anything. All right, radical anything, not just Islam. Radical anything. People, let them do what they need to do to whatever. But and if it's true that at some point someone's going to come down from the heavens, be they alien or whatever, well, good. I think you should get a wriggle on, whoever you are. because there's crazy people out there who just don't. You can't have a conversation. They just yell. They just yell. You cannot converse. So you can't say, "Oh, that's interesting. Why do you feel that way?" Well, because and then you interrupt to go, well, okay, but do you understand? No, you can't even get a sentence out. So I give up. But I'm more worried actually just at the moment, short term, what's happening. I want this to hurry up and finish because I can't stress anymore that it's just,
that's the downside of all of this is there's not a hurry up part of it. We've got at least another month of everyone having to tighten their belt. But after that should be a new golden age for humanity where everything.
Well, if everything goes the way Trumpy wants it to, and if our country, our leaders get some balls about them and stop pandering, and just sort of say, well, this is in our good interest. Great, yeah, go in and get it, because if we can get oil cheaper, or and our country also, much like America, drill, baby, drill, because we've got oil here, we've got tons of oil here, we've got tons of natural resources. We used to have 14 refineries, we're now down to 2 because they all got closed off. So open up our refineries or build new ones. Or here's a thought, some nuclear power. Like whatever, but we still need petrol. We still need petrol, so things will get better here. Hopefully,
don't you guys have a lot of uranium down there in Australia? What are you guys doing?
Sell it or get sold
or start using it. I mean,
well, that's what I mean. This country could actually be the same as America too. This country can actually be self-sufficient. We have certain minerals here, which already I think we made a deal with Trumpy to sell him some of our, minerals.
Yep.
So we've got our minerals, we've got our oil. We've got the uranium, so if we build our own nuclear plants, and they're safe as houses nowadays, that'll power everything. The stupid whatchamacallit fan things, what are they called? Windmill things. They've got to go, because what they never told you when they built them was that once they're dead and dying, you can't get rid of that. You can't get rid of it. It's like asbestos, really. It's bad for the environment. The problem with the battery cars, though, is again power. You got to have the power grids.
How are you charging it up?
I think in reality we're a long, 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 long way away from being able to use cars without petrol. The only other thing I can think of is I did know someone actually who put their car to running on hydrogen, the water and the coil.
Right.
They had just a regular engine, petrol engine. And I said, oh, bull crap, you haven't. And he did. He lifted the thing. That's what it was running on. He had this looked like a jar, about as big as a big pickle jar, and had a coil in it. He tried to explain to me how it worked, but anyway, he got in the car, it started, it went up and down the street, not a touch of petrol in it. And I thought, well, if you can run your car on just water and a coil, but apparently it can go bang.
There's if you're familiar with the Hindenburg, that was also full of hydrogen. I mean, to be fair, as far as like detonations go, if you had a car full of hydrogen versus a car full of gasoline, hydrogen would be one flash and then it's done. Whereas gasoline would burn for many hours and spill out all over the place and get wider and wider. Hydrogen is actually a better plan.
Yeah, I think if they get the hydrogen and obviously, it was. I know it was BHP here back in the day. Apparently, bought the patent for that. I could be wrong. But I think it was an Australian fellow who had made up a device to be able to use the water. And he went on television here. This is before I had kids, and said that BHP had approached him and purchased the patent, and he sold it to them thinking that they were going to do something with it. Of course they weren't.
That's been going on for like 100 years, where the gas companies come in and is like, oh, I will gladly buy your patent for, free hydrogen cells or whatever it is your plan is, and then they bury it. That's been going on for a long time, unfortunately.
Yeah,
We should have.
that's the lithium batteries. Lithium batteries.
Enzo's grand scheme of it, we should have been on fossil fuel stuff a long time ago, and we could have been, but there's a shitload of money involved with all that stuff. So it ends up, we're still literally fighting wars over ideology and oil.
Yeah.
Centuries afterwards that we should have been. It's stupid. It really drives me bananas.
Yeah, and especially when you don't have to. I don't know. I don't know what the go is. I know here, yeah. I'm with you on that one. We will have blackouts for sure. Haven't yet this year, but we will.
Geez.
But the other thing is, like, the party here that we've got with our redhead lady, she's all for nuclear powering, like build some nuclear stations. She's all for drilling and using our own oil and making refineries. So she's actually wanting the things that most level-headed
honestly,
Australians want.
this is an ideal situation to go that route, because if your system is so fragile that 4 weeks of disruption is completely destroying your entire economy, maybe you should be a little more self-sufficient. There should be something else going on there that you could probably do locally.
I just don't know how. I'll have to Google how long it would take to build a refinery. I don't know. It's been so long since they were all shut down that I don't know if they're still standing or they've been knocked down or whatever. I don't know much about that side of things, but it would be interesting to know how much it would cost to build a refinery, because we have tons of oil in South Australia, tons. I'm not sure where else, but I know because I heard someone talking about South Australia the other day. So build a new refinery, a few, like we had 14 and now we've got 2. Right? And that's happened over the years, every government that we've had in power. Yeah, so we do have refineries, but they'd be under the pump at the moment, literally. So I don't know, but certainly we need to drill until such a time as that somebody, I don't know, Elon, just saying, I know he likes his electric cars, but what if he starts to do the helium thing? Water, it could be salt water, based on salt water rather than fresh. We've got tons of it, but you could run it on sewage, just like the DeLorean. We could get rubbish.
Get some eggshells and beer cans and just throw it in Mr. Fusion.
There has to be something that someone can do, and we need in Australia, and you're lucky you've already got it. So long as, bloody hell, so long as he stays in and still keeps control, you've already got a leader who's going to look forward to these things and get them going, because he just will. That's what he said.
I mean, the last month, the last 4 weeks, 5 weeks, should make every country in the world sit back and go like, geez, our system sucks. There's a couple people squabbling way over there, and now my entire infrastructure and economy is destroyed because somebody way over there is raising a ruckus.
Yep.
That obviously you need to reprioritize what's going on in your local area.
Yeah. So I don't know what's going to happen. We're still dangerously so. We are still stuck with him because we have the Governor General here who is appointed by the King. All right. Well, she was appointed by the Queen, but now the King's in charge. So she is the Governor General under the old Commonwealth system, or the Commonwealth system. It's our system. She is the only human being on the planet with the power to come out to the press today and say, I, as Governor General, am dissolving the current government. There will be a new election coming up, so get ready. At the moment, Albanese is no longer in power, and we're going to be called to a new election. She is the only human being who can do it. She is absolutely 100% within her control to do so. Problem? She's good mates with Albo. She's a Labor person. She's a Labor voter, and that's our government. So she's not, what's the word you need to be? You can't, but bipartisan or whatever you call it. She's none of those things. She is a Labor supporter. She's friends with Albanese. She had been asked after the Bondi thing to do this, and she said no. So she's the only one who can do it. Other than that, I don't know what the next step is, because it's a no confidence in the government. I don't know how one does that. I don't know how we do it, but we've got to do it. And it's already being shown, because a lot of people are turning to the lady with the red hair, because everyone else is talking crap. Everyone else is happy to bring tons of people in and let us go homeless and frigging not afford to pay our mortgage, all because of too many people in our country. It's just ridiculous. It is what it is. But until there's a change in government for a positive, we're stuck like this. And it's just sad, because so many people don't educate themselves. I see it in America too. So many people just don't. I saw someone, it was a YouTuber interviewing people on the street, and he goes, "Oh, hey, hi, I've got a petition here. Will you sign this petition? It's to get one of the, that gang, the MS-13 or whatever they're called." And he said some Latin name. He said it's to get him back into the country. He was deported. Sure, like he murdered 5 people, and he's also got other charges up against him for sexual assault or whatever. But we want to get him back into the country and trial him here, like give him a fair trial. Sure, I'll sign that.
What?
The average Joe on the street, I'll sign it. And he goes, oh, and so one lady said she would, and so he pushed that a little bit further, and he said, now, would you also be willing to put your name down a list of people who would be happy to house him when he gets back? Sure, I'll give you my details.
Boy.
At first I thought it was a joke, but no, the amount of people. And I just thought, this is really sad. This is really sad. But yeah,
Incredible.
it is what it is. Yes, the morons that run our countries. At the moment, your country is the only country with some common sense. You've got some dickheads there, though, but not, you've got dickheads on both sides. Like, but so far as I can see, if things continue the way they do, and he can stop being thwarted by the other side, who's currently not even paying your TSA people, that's despicable. I don't know what the answer is. That's a problem. You don't have another party to rise up. We do. We've got another party that's rising up. You're stuck with red and blue. So you need another party that could rise up in the middle. Elon wasn't far off with his idea, I reckon, because then that would get the Democrats concerned, like it is here in Australia, our Liberal Party, which is, I don't know who's worse than the other, really. But anyway, our Liberal Party is starting to lose momentum, because the One Nation Party is rising up and people are like, yeah, we want our Australia back. And they're going with that party. So I think that's kind of what you need in America, maybe, if anything happens and things don't go well in November. But I think I would dare say he's got it planned to get everything running and proper in November, so that he is okay in November. People will be cheering and going, yeah. Hopefully by July
We'll
4th.
see.
I hope things settle down by July 4th, Enzo. Otherwise, I think I'm too scared to travel. I want to be sure that I'm not going to get blown out of the sky.
Don't be scared. There is nothing to be afraid of.
I'm not afraid of America. I'm afraid of getting there. I'm not afraid. Once I'm in America, I'll feel safe as houses. I'm just worried about getting there, but we'll see how it goes. And we'll see how affordability goes too, because at the moment I can't even afford to friggin' eat.
Yeah,
Like, this
it's
is ridiculous. So the
Hmm.
little I was shoving away for my trip, I'm eating into it, literally eating into it at the minute, because it's just been the last, I think Cheryl said it too, the last 3 weeks, food is just through the roof.
Yeah, that's something that, like I said earlier, that's something you need to identify in your country. It's like, really 3 or 4 weeks of disruption is completely destroyed your entire economy. There's something else that needs to be done that you can probably do locally.
Yeah.
That's an issue that needs to be resolved.
But to actually be speaking about putting us all into lockdown, basically lockdown, like work from home, don't drive your cars.
Yeah, because it's your fault. Yeah, you should pay the price.
Yeah, it's our fault. Well, everybody, on that cheery note, see, this is my therapy. I get it all off of my chest. Hopefully, I won't have anyone knocking on the door. I don't think I called for the end of anybody. I don't think I said anything hateful. I think I was saying things that are just common sense. But anyway, if someone knocks on my door and you don't see me next week, I'll put a GoFundMe to get me out of jail. People are saying a lot worse than I am, trust me. And they're still talking, so I think we're right. Yeah, it is, Dee. It is my release. I come on here, I get the familiar faces, you, Tanya, Cheryl, Stormy. I'm sure you always listen in the backgrounds, but yeah, well, all stay safe. Hoard your food, but don't go to the supermarket and go crazy. Just, add in an extra few tins of baked beans or something, just in case. And see how it goes. Fingers crossed.
For me, this falls under that. You should always have, a month or two's worth of food
in the cupboard.
Available. I mean, granted, it's for like a natural disaster kind of a thing.
But this kind of is a natural disaster if we run out of fuel.
Kind of, yeah. So that also applies. So, when stuff like that happens, you always should have an emergency plan.
Yeah. Got that, everybody? Emergency plan, Enzo says. Oh, gosh.
Stockpile now. Well, not right now, because it's at most expensive it could possibly be.
It's at the most.
When things calm down in like a month and a half from now, you'll want to stockpile some stuff.
And I can't remember. There's different prepper channels you can watch, and there's actually, I was nearly going to watch it the other day, and I thought, don't be silly, but there's prepper channels that you can watch, and they'll tell you what you can buy that sort of never runs out of it. Like, it doesn't have a use by date, really. You can probably have it on your shelf for just about ever.
Rice, beans, that kind of stuff. Yeah, it stuff like that never expires. So it's just a matter of, you still have to have, water and things like that locally that you would have to procure to deal with those kind of things. But these are all still good ideas.
Yeah.
That you should always have a stockpile of food and water and resources in case something bad happens, whether it's war in some far-flung land that somehow is affecting your country, or a local disaster, a typhoon or a hurricane hits somewhere nearby where you can't get supplies.
The end of floods,
the world. All of these things, you having a stockpile of stuff is a good thing.
Hmm.
Certainly, people can, it's like, yeah, he's crazy that he wants to stockpile. No, right now, if you had a stockpile of food or gas or whatever it is,
You wouldn't be
you'd be
worrying so
sitting
much.
pretty right now, I think. So it's certainly, up to everybody, and it's going to be different for everyone and in different parts of the world of whatever your emergency is. But
Yeah, I know. The
the
perfect time to
cyclone,
put in a water tank. Perfect time, because we'll get tons of rain. Yeah. Oh, well, that's the thing. But even to have a stockpile of food would be a good thing in times where something might happen just to you, like you lose your job, or you're
right.
sick and can't get out to go shopping. Well, at least you've got a stockpile of something that you can actually just grab, and it'll do you over for a few weeks until.
Even something as simple as literally getting like a 5-gallon bucket of dirt and growing a tomato plant on your patio out behind your house, just so you have some tomatoes in your home. That's a start. It's something that you can kind of get used to. Okay, I know what works. I know what doesn't work. Where to place it. What works. It works better over here than over there. Things like that. Little tiny things like that. If you want to expand a little bit the next season or so forth, where you want to maybe add a couple of different, because YouTube is full of literal buckets of things of dirt with plants in them that you can grow on your back porch or your in your backyard or whatever, that you can do pretty well for yourself. If you don't have to go buy these things at the stores where it's literally growing off the vine and you're outside your back door,
It saves you money.
it saves you a ton of money. And
Look at me. She's a
and
crazy
you're
woman.
in control of it. You don't have to worry about, okay, what's this source from? Is this from some other country that's going to spray weird chemicals on it? All these, everything about that plant because it's growing right outside your back door.
Look at me,
Things like
44
that.
tomato plants. Tomato.
Yeah, tomato.
Tomato.
You could do a lot of stuff with tomatoes. Just as I said earlier, you can make your own salsa. I'm a big salsa guy. A little tomato, a little onion, a little pepper. You can do a lot of stuff with that.
Dee's
fills in a
just
lot of
showing
holes.
off now. Hello, Julie. You've come in right at the end, mate. Never mind, you can rewatch. We just talked about a whole heap of, I don't know, and then I went into a rant.
I didn't think we went that far off. I don't think.
I don't think so. I think I think so far as something happening in April, it would be nice. But I doubt it. I think I'm hoping in April everything's just all settled down again. That'd be the nice thing. Settle down.
I feel it's not necessarily from like what I laid out earlier for what I think is going to happen. Mid-April is about the time frame when you're going to see a lot of good things kind of start. It'll germinate at that point, which will lead to much better things later in the year.
And maybe the awakening thing will just be people opening their eyes a little bit and going,
exactly.
Yeah.
It is certainly not a religious thing at all. It is certainly more of an awareness, like, holy crap, this is really happening this way. I didn't realize.
Yeah.
This is going to turn out great. That kind of an idea versus, flip to page 58 of your Bible or reference guide or whatever it is. No. It is. I feel like there is a general awakening, kind of an idea that will probably occur. Mostly just self-realization of people going, "Holy crap, that actually worked! we could have done that a long time ago. We could have done that 50 years ago and we'd have been sitting pretty, that kind of an idea.
Yeah, I think so too. It's just that this is going to give everyone a little bit of a shock in the fact that, geez, we're not prepared at all.
Right. And that's actually quite important. That's, I mean, it's awful to say that, but sometimes you need that wake up call where it's like, hey, literally 2,000 miles away, something's going on and it's affecting everything that your daily life. Maybe you should do something about that locally. You could probably fix that. And there's a lot of places I feel across the world that could certainly do that. And you should certainly be doing that.
So have you got that, everybody? Enzo has spoken. Tanya's going to swim to your house. Dee and I know where to go to if I get into trouble as well. But yeah, I've got fruit trees. I've got a lemon tree. I've got my chickens for my eggs. But
you see, you're sitting great. You're sitting in great shape right now.
I should probably get a few more chickens. But at the moment, I can't eat all the eggs.
You can use your eggs and your lemons and trade with your neighbors that may have
other fruits,
tomatoes or other, things like that, where you could trade for that. So, you get friendly with your neighbors and meet good having good neighbors is actually a very strong thing for any kind of community. If you can trust your neighbors, you're going to be okay because they'll watch after you, you watch after them. So having good trade conveyances works out in the long run.
That's a very pessimistic look out, Julie. No, you won't. There's always someone at the end of the telephone.
Lone wolves never turn out well in the end. Believe me, I know. I've certainly gone down that path. Like, I don't need nothing. I can do whatever oh, geez. I can't build an oil refinery. I need someone that has some kind of abilities with that. Things like that. That's certainly a very, I used to think that was always an American thing. I can do whatever I want. Well, you can't. There are certain things you just can't do everything on your own.
That's correct. And Dee, put up a link to your channel, would you please? And yeah, Dee's just got all of her veggies and things on there, I think. I hope Heather does get to visit you. That'd be nice, Dee. Now put up a link, Mrs. And we'll go check out your channel and your vegetables and your fruits. And I'm going over to my son's in a short time. I'm going to I'm going to steal away my little baby granddaughter tomorrow. I'm going to sleep the night at my son's, steal my grandbaby tomorrow and bring her back home here and play with some toys and show her some of the animals. And my daughter has got a big operation coming up on Wednesday, a huge operation. So that'll be a big day for me as well.
Awesome,
and hopefully so hopefully once that operation is done, she'll be well and healthy again in a few months' time. So that'll be good. Have a good night, Julie and Dee. Thank you. And Tanya, love you lots. And Cheryl, if you're still listening, hope you're doing okay. I should see you this same time. Around about this time next week. Everybody continue to have a good weekend, evening or morning or afternoon. It's afternoon here. And I'll talk to you all soon. Love you lots. Bye. Say bye.